Wonderful. So super excited to be speaking about Coffee with DC, our festival edition. It's not every day that we get a chance to speak to Rodolfo kind of shortly after the trip. It's not that long, so fresh in your head, hopefully, to share this group's experiences and how this year went and how it's went in the past as well. But we just got some really great footage, I feel like, this year as well. So I'm excited to share my screen here and also just showcase the amazing kind of footage that everyone got. So let me just share my screen. Oops, there we go. All right. Wonderful. So, just to introduce myself really quickly, I'm Lynn. I am the host of Coffee with DC. I love running these webinars as a chance to dive deeper into all of the destinations, just because we do work in over 20 different countries. And some countries we have multiple itineraries. So, these opportunities to kind of dive deeper and have our guide directly on the call is amazing. So that, we can also answer any of your questions at the end. But a little bit about myself. I am originally from Canada, but I live in Costa Rica and have for about 7 years now. So this is definitely where I call home. And fun fact, it's actually where I met Jenny. She is the reason why I work for this amazing company and brought me over a couple years ago. So great to have Jenny on the call as well. And yeah, I'll pass it to you, Jen.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny. I'm the travel operations coordinator for Oaxaca. So I work with all of our travelers going to Oaxaca. I get to help prepare you once you decide to go on this trip for your travels and also work with Rodolfo and making sure he has everything he needs to receive our groups. And yeah, thank you, Lynn. It's awesome to see how we connected in Costa Rica years ago, and now we work together on sending people everywhere. And yeah, really good to see you as well, Rodolfo. I got to join a group in July, which was amazing. Great time to visit Oaxaca, but really excited to hear more about our most recent group that was for the Day of the Dead Festival.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks. And I love this photo. I threw a photo up here of Jenny's group. It was an intimate one, which is so nice when we get this chance to really just have like a small group and be able to be really, really deeply, immersed in the community with you, Rodolfo. So tell us a little bit about how you started with DC, Rodolfo, how long you've been working with us, and just a little bit more about yourself, because I know you have deep roots out there in Oaxaca.
Yes, hi. My name is Rodolfo Juarez, and I'm the guide here in Oaxaca, and I'm the country director. And I've been part of this beautiful family for about 6 years, maybe seven. And there is a beautiful hotel in Oaxaca where our groups stay. It's Hotel Con Corazon. It's a most beautiful hotel that has a beautiful purpose because a lot of their income, goes to children to help children. So I was invited by them. They were uh, contacted by Discover Corp and they invited me to be part of the project. And I've been a proud member of the family ever since. And I'm very, very happy about the project.
Yeah,
And I'm
amazing.
based in Oaxaca. I'm from a little town just east of Oaxaca City, which is the capital of the state of Oaxaca. My village is a farming village. I'm a farmer myself.
Mhm.
All my family, since I can remember, we have always been farmers. We have a little farm, and I'm also a tour guide.
Amazing. And Jenny, when you were out there, right, you got to go see the farm. Is that right? Do I have that correct?
I did. I got to see the farm. It was such an awesome experience. Got to see the animals and just yeah, see where Rodolfo is at and see the village. So it's very cool.
It's so awesome. Yeah, I love when you get that chance to actually like see your home and everything. It's really special. Well,
Yes.
Everyone, I want to just tell anyone who's new here who might not know exactly a little bit about our history of Discover Core, just before I hand it over to Rodolfo to kind of do a deep dive into the itinerary and all of the highlights, because I know that's likely what you're here for, right? To hear more about the Day of the Dead trip. But Discover Core was founded by this guy here up in the left corner, Andrew Matiwala, who was a former Peace Corps volunteer in Honduras, and he really dreamed of creating a company that could provide a level of travel that goes beyond, the typical tourist experience. That really has a mission-driven itinerary that's both educational, also immersive, and really can bring you, deeply. And I think this festival trip is such a good example of that. But we are a B Corporation. We have local partnerships with grassroots projects all over the world, and I think we can speak a little bit to the work within VIA and our standard Oaxaca as well, and just that impact in a second here. But again, we do operate in over 20 different countries, and a lot of the countries have themes of conservation, education, women's empowerment, and more. So again, our mission is really to just inspire travelers to become advocates for our planet's natural wonders, cultural treasures, and the local communities that we're getting to, meet and experience. And we really do believe that our trips create really wonderful memories for, yourself and your loved ones if you are traveling with them. This is a little bit of what you can expect, almost like our recipe. It really at the heart of all of our trips is community, the communities in which we're, engaging with, like Rodolfo is going to share with us. And we do small group travel. So for these festival trips, it is 16 people is our cap. So generally speaking, you can expect around 8 to 10. I know this year, for example, I think it was 11 people that were on this experience, but minimum for our festival trip is 8 people. So you can kind of see that it's still small, but definitely you still get that intimacy and be able to have those immersive and educational experiences as mentioned. So Rodolfo, let's hop into it. Can you kind of walk people through the itinerary and how many days and nights and kind of the flow of the experience?
Yes, hi. Absolutely. Well, first of all, I would like to speak a little bit about the festivity itself. Day of the Dead is by far the most important celebration, at least in Oaxaca. And of course, it's one of the most important celebrations in Mexico. But Oaxaca, it's perhaps the place where it's celebrated the most, where people still preserve the traditions not now, I mean, forever. It's part of our life, it's part of our culture. And we truly believe that our family members or friends that have departed they get to come back to be with us. So it is not a mournful occasion, it is not a time to be sad. All the opposite. We are very happy because they're coming back to be with us. And we treat them with the best we have the best fruit, the best bread, beer, mezcal, food, because they only get to be here, a couple of days of the year. So we're looking forward to it. I always say that this is the second most important religious celebration in Oaxaca, right after Christmas, right? And it's celebrated by everyone. Day of the Dead is really, really a special celebration in Oaxaca. And a lot of parts in Mexico too, but Oaxaca is, I think, is unique because we preserve like the true identity, I mean, the traditions, that make this celebration so special. Mhm. And so we have a beautiful program. We have 5 days in the city, right? And day number one, we start our program begins by having a lunch at a very special place. There is a woman whose name is Deyanira Aquino. She's a traditional cook. She does not present herself as a chef, but as a traditional cook, which are the women in the communities that cook for weddings, for this type of festivities. So she is very, very famous. She actually went and cooked for the Pope in 2015. And her name is Deyanira Aquino. She is better known as La Teca. So that's our welcome to Oaxaca. That's the introduction to Oaxaca. We go to her house and we have this amazing lunch which is served by her. She doesn't have any employees. She only works with family members, her nephews, her niece, and herself. She cooks. So we go to her house. We have an amazing lunch there, and from there we start with the walking city tour. Oaxaca City, it's a World Heritage Site. The whole downtown area. It is a city that goes back to the 16th century. So we have these beautiful streets with buildings, and we have one of the most important museums in Mexico, which is the Museo de las Culturas de Oaxaca. We go in there for a couple of hours, and after that, we understand who we are. You know, we understand about the culture of Oaxaca. We visit one of the most beautiful churches in Mexico, which is the Santo Domingo Church. And we go to a beautiful neighborhood with a lot of street art. This neighborhood, once again, goes back to the 16th century. It's called Jalatlaco, and it was declared by Travel and Leisure one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in Mexico. The decorations, the street art, the facades, the construction is just amazing. It's an amazing place for pictures. We spend there like 2 hours at least just walking around. You know, people want to take pictures of everything, and we enjoy that a lot. So that is the first day of the program. Um, and in the evenings, there are many parades, okay, about the Day of the Dead, where people go out to the streets with the bands of music, the fireworks, and many people in costumes, you know, or with the how do you say, the
Face paint, the
face paint?
face paint.
You're right. So this happens as of the first day of our program, all the way to the 3rd of November. So every evening there are many parades. These parades take place on the streets of Oaxaca with the music, with the fireworks, and many people organize the parades. Schools, businesses, even some churches, sports teams. So you see many parades. So really encourage our visitors, our travelers, you know, to be there and just be part of the parades. Everyone is welcome to join the parades. Pictures, of course, are okay, and this is really fun. So the next day, we go to visit um, a family of farmers um, who grow marigolds. Marigolds are very important in for the Day of the Dead. Um, in our culture, we believe that marigolds preserve the warmth and the heat and the light from the sun. And this light will guide the souls that come to visit us. So marigolds are super important. So on our second day of the program, we actually go to a village and meet with a family of farmers at their plantation. Right, we have an amazing breakfast right there. I mean, in the middle of the flowers, and we are served hot chocolate and the special bread that is only made for the Day of the Dead. This is a once a year treat. So it's a special bread, and we have breakfast there, and then we harvest our very own flowers for the Day of the Dead. These flowers we will keep, and on the next day, when we go to the cemeteries, we leave some of these flowers that we harvest ourselves at the graveyards, you know, where nobody visits, right? So I'll get to that. So we are with the family there. At we something that I really like about the program for the Day of the Dead, I think is super immersive. We really get in touch with the families, and I think this is important because the people that are part of our groups, I always say they are travelers. They are not tourists. They're travelers. People that want to get immersed in the culture. People who really want to be part, of the festivities. So by visiting these families, I think it's important, to get that connection, that
Hmm.
really personal connection with the families. So from the plantation, we go to visit a beautiful market at Tlacolula. This is a village in the central valleys of Oaxaca, where all the people from the surrounding villages come and bring their flowers, their bread, their fruit. And during the Day of the Dead or around that week, the market it's really, really different because it has all the colors, all the papel picado, the flowers, all the elements that
Hmm.
people buy for the altar, for the offerings for the Day of the Dead. So all beautiful colors and smells and flavors. It's just really, really lovely to visit that market. So we can see the families actually that go there and buy the
Hmm.
products that they will put, at their offerings. Mhm. Going back to the offerings, since we are convinced that our family members and friends get to come back to be with us for a couple of days, we prepare a feast for them. Like the
Mm.
food that they love, like mole,
Mm.
the
So good.
beer, the mezcal. And we always keep in mind what they loved. I had an uncle myself. He really loved his cake. So now, for in my home at the offering, I always put a slice of cake for him because that's what he loved. So
Hmm.
it's important for us to do that. Mhm. Okay, so from the market, we go to the second most important archaeological site in Oaxaca. This archaeological site is called Mitla, and it's very important because it's the land of the dead. Okay, the most important archaeological site in Oaxaca is Monte Alban, which we also visit. The second most important, Mitla. So we visit those two. That
Hmm.
that that's important as well. And from there, we come back. Before heading back to the city, we stop and we have lunch with the family, and we usually are invited there, to be part of the celebration. And we cook a little bit with them, and we set up our very own offering for the Day of the Dead. We encourage our travelers, our visitors, to bring pictures of their loved ones that have
Hmm.
passed away, so we can put them up at the offering. And we wait for the special moment, when the souls come, which is at 3 o'clock. We had this year we had this amazing experience with our group. I'm not sure if somebody from the group it's online right now is watching, but we had an amazing experience this year. Um, Once again, this is one of the many reasons why we are convinced that the souls get to come back. Let me explain. um, we arrived at the Hernandez family home, and we were there. We were making some tamales, for the offering, and then we were setting up our offering with the flowers and the candles and the fruit, and we put up the pictures of the people we were expecting, and we believe that at 3 o'clock the souls arrive. It was 3:05 this year, and there was a particular tree just outside of the house, and all the leaves started to move in a beautiful, beautiful way. Only one tree, only one. There was no wind. I mean, people cried. People
Wow.
cried. We were overwhelmed because this was like, I mean, you cannot explain it. So, and this is why in Oaxaca we are convinced the souls get to come back to be with us. So
Mm,
that was
beautiful.
very, very touching. Mhm. So this is part of our program. Mhm. Let me see.
Rodolfo, I have to tell you, I'll let you pause for a second. And my mom, she works in a hospice. So in the last place where people go before they, move on, she calls it God's waiting room. And one time she had a Canadian client who was beside a Mexican client, but they didn't know because they were both bedridden. And the
Okay.
Canadian client said to her, "There's people coming out of a flower on my wall." And she said,
Mm.
"Oh, is there?" And the Canadian said, "Yes, there's, but they're not from here." And she said, "Oh, where are they from?" And he said, "They're from Mexico." And she was like, "Okay, right?"
Mhm.
That person in the room passed away that day suddenly, the Mexican person. And so
Mhm.
they have so many stories in their hospice as well of just, kind of like you can't explain it. It's just absolutely, brings you goosebumps. It's just incredible. But I thought it was pretty powerful that yeah, your loved ones are definitely waiting for you on the other side.
Yes, I think so. I think so. And I always tell our travelers that in Oaxaca, regardless of your education, I mean, I'm talking about doctors, engineers, architects. My wife, for instance, she's a chemist. You could say she's a scientist, and she's fully convinced that her family gets to come back. So it's just part of our culture. Mhm.
Totally.
And once again, it's a beautiful, beautiful season of the year because we get to go to the cemeteries, which is also part of the program. For our program for the Day of the Dead. Um, so on October the 31st, which is the third day of our program, or the fourth, I'm sorry, we go to Santa Cruz, Jojocotlan, to the cemetery, and we go there at night, and we can witness how the families come to the cemetery overnight. They arrive like around 8, 9 p.m. You must remember this is not a mournful occasion. This is a time to be happy. So the families that come to the cemetery at night on the 31st, they bring their boombox with the music. They bring the mariachi band. They bring the brass band. They barbecue at the cemeteries. The families get together and they sing. They play the guitar. They tell stories. They get together. They probably have something to eat, and they watch over the graves until the next day in the morning. That's how they welcome their family members that have passed away. So we visit the cemeteries, which is not invasive. This remember it's a time of joy. So the families there they don't mind, for us being part of their moment, part of their tradition. So when we walk around the cemeteries, and sometimes we see these uh, tombstones, these tombs,
Tombstones.
graves, where nobody visits. Families have forgotten, or maybe the family has passed away, and that's where we stop, and that's where we leave our flowers that we harvested. 2 days before. We leave the flowers there, and we put a candle, and we bring some light to those souls that have no family members anymore. You know, so this
Beautiful
is,
touch.
and after that, we go for tacos.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah, need
tradition.
some good tacos after that emotion. So, somewhere.
Yes, so we walk around the cemeteries for a couple of hours, and then before heading back to the hotel, this is late. This is like around
Yeah,
11 p.m. We stop for very good tacos.
late night tacos. Yeah, those hit the spot for sure.
Right. Yes, and in Oaxaca we have 16 ethnicities. I'm talking about the state of Oaxaca. In Mexico, there are more than 60. Everyone is familiar with the Mayans and the Aztecs, but there are many, many others. Just in the state of Oaxaca, there are 16, right? The most important ethnicity are the Zapotecos. I am a Zapoteco myself. And they flourished and they developed in the Valley of Oaxaca, and they built this amazing city called Monte Alban. If you have ever been to Mexico, if you have visited Teotihuacan, Chichen Itza, well, Monte
Hmm.
Alban is right up there. It's at the same level, but it's from the Zapotecos. Yes, it is the most important archaeological site in Oaxaca and is one of the top five archaeological sites in Mexico, right?
Wow.
So, Discovery Corp travelers have treat there because we visit the archaeological site after hours.
Mm.
Once it's closed to the public, we go in and we have a private visit there, right? We have the information of the archaeological site, about the history, about the different buildings, how people live, and right before the sunset, we climb up to the highest part of the archaeological site on the pyramid, on the south platform, we call it, and we wait for the sunset. So that's
Private
also
sunset
part of our
viewing.
program.
That's awesome. Yeah, can't
Yes.
get better than that.
No, and it's completely private. I mean, this is only for our groups.
So
This is
nice.
not something that is available for everyone, but it's
Hmm.
something very special that we do for our groups.
Yeah, super special. Those connections, Rodolfo, that you have are key here. We tell our travelers all the time, like we can talk to you about the trip and everything, but it's our amazing local guides that are able to build this unique experience for you all to be able to witness. And what a beautiful, beautiful moment I'm sure that is, especially after some, I think like quite emotional days as well, and just of reflection and observation. It's a nice way to experience another incredible moment in Oaxaca and take some time for, I'm sure, silence as well. It's pretty quiet up there after a lot of crowds, perhaps. Yes.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and also the those days around the Day of the Dead, the afternoons are very special. The
Hmm.
sunsets and the wind.
The
So it's,
colors.
it's really, really different time of the year, and people enjoy that a lot. And once again, at Monte Alban, at the archaeological site, there are also tombs. So that's where we get to explain more about the relationship about our traditions before we were conquered by Spain, and how those traditions blend with the Catholic religion,
Hmm.
which give us a result, the Day of the Dead that we have today. So it all connects.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
Mhm.
after that, how do we end?
Well, I think I'm not giving you the itinerary in the order in which we do it.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
sorry about that. I'm just giving
I'll
it.
send it to everyone afterwards, don't worry.
Yes. Oh, we also get to meet a lot of people, and some of the people that we get to meet, besides the families and their homes, we get to meet with different artists.
Hmm.
We visit Angelica Vasquez. Is if anybody wants to Google her, uh, Angelica Vasquez. She is a potter. She makes these beautiful ceramics, these beautiful sculptures. And Angelica Vasquez Gomez was awarded with the highest honor granted to a civilian by the Mexican government. So she was
Wow.
awarded with this medal. Uh, it's in Spanish. It's called Premio Nacional de Ciencias y Artes.
Oh,
So it's the
wow.
national award for science
National
and art.
like award for, yeah,
Mhm.
for art and science. It's incredible.
Science, yeah. So she received this medal, which once again is the highest honor. from the Mexican government to a civilian. So she's really talented. She's been to the US many times to present her work. So
Mm.
we have lunch at her house. Um, so she will give us a lecture, about her work, maybe a little demonstration. And I love when we visit her because she's talking to us, she's giving us a story about her work, the childhood, but at the same time, she's molding something with her hands. And at the end of the presentation, we have a beautiful piece of art made in 30 minutes. And then yes, and we have lunch with her family, and I think this is very intimate. This is one of my favorite parts of the program.
Yeah, it's so beautiful and so much talent in Oaxaca. I am overwhelmed always with just like how much art and craft and just artistry is in Oaxaca. It really is incredible.
Yes. Well, we also visit the family of weavers, people that these families that have been weaving beautiful wool rugs for hundreds of years. Um, we have uh, we have had weaving in Mesoamerica for hundreds of years, but we didn't have sheep. Sheep were brought in by the Spaniards, when we were conquered, and some of our locals learned to weave with the wool.
Yes, I'm just throwing up some pictures here as well from
Mm.
from the group and some of the photos of the community as well and shots of the marigold farms and the
Oh yeah,
harvesting.
that was 3 years ago. So this is
This one, yeah, up in the
how
top
we
left, yeah.
harvest.
One of
Hmm.
our original groups.
Hmm.
Yes. No, and there's so many moments we call that, that matter in the itinerary that are these call out items that I think Rodolfo's doing a wonderful job at kind of highlighting for everyone on the call. As mentioned, there might be some swapping of the days and such, but we will send you also when I send over the recording the day-to-day breakdown. But I think it's more meaningful to hear from you, Rodolfo, really like where it's all coming from and that importance, right? Of really why are we doing all of this and why is it culturally important and how can we be there alongside to really just observe and support and connect because I think that's what traveling is really all about, right? Going.
Right. And before I forget, one of the many highlights of the trip is also when we visit a master distiller that makes the best mezcal by
Yes.
far. So mezcal, once again, for us in Oaxaca, is not a trend. It's it's part of our lives.
Mhm.
So we visit a master distiller, Lalo Angeles, and we go to his distillery. We visit the farms, the agave farms, that is, and we visit all the different parts of the production, like the fermentation, the distillation of the mezcal, and he prepares a special batch for us, special batch of or a unique mezcal only for us. So we have lunch there, and we get to try this amazing mezcal prepared just for us. So that's one of the highlights too. It's one of the many families that we visit during our trip.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful. All the colors just overall have been amazing. And you've mentioned a little bit about the food, but I often tell people that, when going to Oaxaca is like it's a culinary trip at heart. You're gonna experience all different kinds of flavors and unique sabores. So tell us a little bit more about the food in Oaxaca and what people can expect.
Yes, well, Oaxaca, it's very well known. When people think about Oaxaca, the first thing that comes to mind is the food. I mean, moles, tlayudas, chiles rellenos, the tejate, or the mezcal, the string cheese that is so famous.
Mhm.
So Oaxaca has become the place for foodies, for the past, I don't know, maybe 15 years. And this has a lot to do also with mezcal. Oaxaca has today 5 restaurants that are in the Michelin Guide that are recommended, and all of these super important chefs that are based in Oaxaca, um, they pair their dishes with different types of mezcal. So this is becoming something important in Oaxaca. But besides these amazing restaurants that we have, uh, food, very good food could be found in the homes, at the markets. We also have a breakfast at the market, by the way. And the result of hundreds of years of recipes, ingredients, and these dishes that go back 4, 5, 600 years, with the combination of the new techniques and the new meats brought from Spain. Like, for instance, we didn't have chickens before we were conquered, we didn't have goats, we didn't have cows. So once you put all of that together, it gives as a result amazing food. We
Mm,
have just about everything. We have vegetables, we have moles, we have all these amazing dishes, special tamales for different occasions, and we have some of the best restaurants in the country. Um, Talking about the restaurants, one of the 50 best restaurants in the world is in Oaxaca, and it's Casa Oaxaca. This is where we have our farewell dinner. This is the last day of the program. This is how we finish our program. We go
yeah.
there at the restaurant and we have our farewell dinner.
That's amazing. And Jenny, I might pull you in for a sec because I know you're vegan, and we get the question a lot just for anyone who is vegan or has dietary restrictions. What was your experience in Oaxaca on your trip? I know you didn't do this one specifically, but just being in the region and exploring on our standard trip.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I remember at Casa Oaxaca, I think I had a huge roasted cauliflower. It was
Mm.
so good.
Yum.
So they had some really good options there. And just in general, there's always some type of vegan option available, and Rodolfo always makes sure that we're taken care of. The mole as well was a huge highlight. I love mole.
Me too.
Um, it was the mole I had actually at the farm at Rodolfo's farm. It was so delicious. I think it was made by your wife, right, Rodolfo?
Right.
Yeah,
I
she made some really good mole with some fresh chocolate in there. That was awesome.
Oof.
And then the breakfast at Hotel Con Corazon as well. They do have vegetarian and vegan options, so you can always expect breakfast to be vegetarian, but they do give you a lot of food. So there's, fruit, there's a bread basket with some jam, and then they always have a plate of the day, and it always comes like beautifully crafted to the table. So you can always expect a really good breakfast from them too. And then, of course, lunch and dinner, we always had amazing meals. So definitely a lot of options in Oaxaca, a lot of veggie friendly. I think really for anyone, even like gluten free as well. A lot of corn products are gluten free, so it's really, I think, good place for everyone to eat.
Yeah, totally. No, I remember the first time trying mole in my life, I cried. I was like, why have I not been given this until this moment? I feel like I was robbed from for many years of enjoyment. But yeah, mole is for anyone, it's a very like flavorful dish that actually has chocolate or like cacao in it. So, not a lot of people think of like using chocolate for something more savory. But it is incredible, and you must try it when you're there for sure.
Right. And that was very important because in our groups, we often have like a special diet restrictions, like people that are vegans or vegetarian or are allergic, like to
Mhm.
nuts
Agree.
or
Mhm.
gluten free, or we are always aware of that.
Mhm.
Of course, we get all the special requirements ahead of time, and we make sure to accommodate all the needs of our travelers. So this is the beauty of having small groups also, and for us
Mhm.
as guides, it makes it much easier also. I'm sorry to say that, but that makes it easier because once you have a small group, you can make it more personalized. You can
Mhm.
take care of the special needs, the particular needs, of everyone. And with regards to food, we're always aware of their requirements or their restrictions, their allergies. And Oaxaca, we have food for everyone and everyone can enjoy it. We have, for instance, like special bread, special moles that is nut free, or you know what I mean.
Lots of different options. It
Hmm.
sounds amazing. I'm already ready to hop on a plane to Oaxaca right now. Have lunch with you over there.
Please, please. And another very special moment that we enjoy a lot is our visit to Jacobo and Maria Angeles. Jacobo and Maria Angeles are wife and husband, and they are the most important artists that carve the beautiful alebrijes.
Oh,
They
yes.
We're talking about the wooden animals that are painted.
Yeah, like here in this photo, right? I think
There,
there's one in the bottom here, just
there
for
is one at
everyone
the
to.
bottom.
Yeah.
Yes. So these alebrijes are very important in our culture because they represent our protecting spirits,
Mm.
right? In rural Oaxaca, rural Mexico, in the mountains where the hospitals are not very close to the villages. When a baby is about to be born, who takes care of that? The midwives,
Hmm.
because women sometimes, are far from the hospitals, and midwives come to their homes and they deliver the babies, and the midwives are the ones that
Correct.
can tell the mother who is the protecting animal of that particular baby, right?
Hmm.
So once they deliver the baby, the next day they will come back to the home and they will tell the mother, hey, the rabbit came to visit your kid last night. Hey, the deer, the owl, the coyote, whatever animal came to visit that baby will become the protecting spirit of that person, and that is part of our culture. So Jacobo and Maria Angeles, this couple that we're talking about, they are the most talented and the most important wood carvers in that art form. And we visit their studio and we learn about the type of wood they use, the process for the carving, and the all the significance of the symbols that they are printed, not printed, but painted
Painted. Hmm.
on their pieces. And not only that, but we get to paint our very own wooden piece. We are given you know a
Yeah, a
wooden
little one.
animal, and we
Hmm.
sit there at the studio, and we are provided with all the tools that we need, the brushes and the paint, and we sit there for about an hour, and we paint our very own alebrije, which of course we get to bring back.
Take as a keepsake for sure. I think that would be my favorite part of the trip, to be honest. I would love to sit there and learn from them and um I know we're getting up to about 10 minutes here, so I want to give everyone a chance. Feel free to throw in your questions, anyone that we can get to here in a second. Um, I want to just mention just that this trip is also, friendly for all different kinds of groups, whether you're solo or a couple or a family. Maybe Rodolfo, you can speak to, just the level of activity as well, if it's, considered easy or moderate. I know we're going to visit some of the ruins, so can you just speak a little bit about the activity level and what people could expect?
Right. Well, in our previous groups, we've had 6, 7 year olds, and we've had people who that are 80 or 80
Mhm.
plus, and we haven't had any uh, restrictions, or I'm not sure how to explain this. This all the activities in the program are suitable for any age. We
Okay.
don't have any activity that is that requires like a lot of walking. For instance, the at the archaeological site, we can do the easy route or the difficult route, but the activities in this particular program for the Day of the Dead are suitable for anyone.
Wonderful. That's perfect. Yeah, and just for anyone on the call, we don't accept anyone younger than 6, so that's really the only restriction that we have. Um, so we talked a little bit about the lodging already, the community partnerships that we have with all of these amazing people that we're going to be visiting, and the positive impact of really just us being able to visit and contribute financially to everywhere that we're visiting is also a huge kind of part of our recipe in Discover Core. I wanted to show before I go here, hopefully everyone can hear it. Let me just do a little practice here. Can you guys hear when I go to the next page? No? No? Okay. Let's see here. Let me just
Ah,
see if I can. I wanted to show everyone this awesome video we have, but I think I have to just when I go to share with sound probably. Yeah, computer audio. Okay. Let me do this once more. Share. Right. So this is a video that our team put together of the last group. So hopefully I can get it up here for everyone to see. Can you hear it?
I can see it. Ooh, fireworks.
Well, Day of the Dead trip was amazing because it was a way to go deeper, being below all the parties and festivals and parades. And I don't do tours, but I really wanted to learn about the meaning and deep spiritual significance of the Day of the Dead festival.
Just a little short teaser for everyone, but I thought it was cool visuals, and these are, directly from the ground of our travelers this year. So it was just nice to see some of that new footage for everyone. And before I open it up fully to Q&As, Rodolfo, thank you so much for just sharing again you know, so much of your personal community as well with us and our travelers. I think, again, this itinerary wouldn't be possible without you and just all of those details and connections that you build with others. It just shows in the experience, and the reviews come back incredible for the trip. So thank you for all that you do for our travelers. And I don't know if there's any kind of last words you want to say before I get into some of the nitty-gritties of what's included, what's not, but I just want to say thank you for all of.
Right. Well, yes, I just wanted to uh, ask for to invite people, to come to Oaxaca for this special festival. And I think what we put together is very special. And what makes it more special is the interest of our travelers. From experience, people that have signed up for this festival, for this trip, uh, have a genuine interest about learning about our traditions. And that's important, because besides the Day of the Dead, we learn about the art, about the history, about the food, about the culture. So there are
Yeah.
many, many aspects for the trip, not just the Day of the Dead. They
So,
will learn a lot about our culture.
no, Thank you, Rodolfo. It's an incredible experience, and hopefully those on the call have, if you don't, already want to go to Oaxaca, hopefully you're convinced now, because I think it's a special place that will leave you wanting to come back. I know that for sure. My husband loves it there, and we'll be back there soon. For those on the call, just to kind of walk you through what's included, really you can expect a full service experience when it comes to like, fitting you into the right trip, making sure this is indeed the itinerary you want to go on. We always go over kind of unique elements in an itinerary that you might want to consider. Obviously, during, a time of such a heightened cultural moment, there's going to be a lot of crowds, a lot of noise. We will get moments of quiet peacefulness, as Rodolfo kind of alluded to, but I think it's important to know that this is a busy time of year, right? Everyone's coming to greet their loved ones and to celebrate. So we'll be alongside that hustle and bustle. But you can expect, pick up and drop off at the airport and really everything in between. So you don't have to be worrying about those logistical pieces. We got you. You can also expect, comfortable, reliable, transportation, great lodging, all of the activities that we mentioned. Meals, of course, we say most meals, some itineraries might not have a meal included, so we just like to highlight that, but it's very clearly stated if that's the case. But you can also expect medical evacuation insurance. What no, is not included is your flights, so to get yourself to and from the destination. We will give you those instructions on, those arrival and departure times. Jenny works closely with all of you to make sure that you are flying within the window and that Rodolfo has those flights so that we're picking you up at the right time. And if any delays come up, we'll be monitoring. But any tips and gratuities, we'll also give you those recommendations so you're not on your own. And then alcohol and any sort of like extras like laundry or phone, obviously is on your own. But traveler's insurance is something that we also deeply advocate for because we know it's a big investment to go on one of these trips. And there can always be delays or things that prevent you from sort of going on the trip. And that's what traveler's insurance can protect you against. So we do have a recommended brand. You can chat with me on the phone. Again, that's my job to help you understand all of these details and make sure that you're prepared to go and experience your trip. Now I'm going to hand it over for Jenny for a quick just overview of the additional resources that we do give you to set you up for success as well when going to Oaxaca or any of our destinations.
Yeah, great. So for any of our trips, we have our travel portal, which really has access to a lot of helpful information. So once you sign up, you'll get a link of access to this travel portal. And from here, you can see information like flight information and early arrivals is like your arrival windows, departure windows. We also have a flight partner we work with, Wings Travel. So we have their contact information if you want any assistance in purchasing flights. We do have the itinerary that we also have online. You'll get a more specific itinerary that's usually more or less the same, but might just have a few extra details prior to departure, but it's basically what you can expect. We have more information on the accommodations, weather and packing list. I know packing list is really helpful for a lot of people. So this is really just your go-to for information on the trip and to know that outside of this, you also have your coordinator, which would be me for this trip, to ask any questions or bounce ideas off of if you need anything before you depart. So you're definitely well taken care of and know that we really put a lot of time and effort into making sure you feel like you're going to show up there totally prepared and just ready to enjoy the trip.
Yeah, exactly. This is your go-to resource. We tell everyone to bookmark it because you'll be using it a lot. And Jenny's always, and the whole team are always updating, this resource for our travelers to be as accurate as possible. And we have you review our trips always so that we can understand how your experience was. And we take that feedback really seriously. So we're always updating this to be an incredibly helpful resource for you all. So I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see your questions coming through here. Feel free to throw anyone else. Somebody just wrote, if we come after the Day of the Dead, how similar is the itinerary? So I think if I'm understanding the question correctly, you're just asking about our standard Oaxaca trip. Just because this is a festival date, we don't usually have overlapping dates. We really select the dates and don't have it, before or after. It really is like a one date a year for the Day of the Dead trip. There's definitely some overlap in what we do in our standard Oaxaca itinerary. But I think it might be best that I'll make sure in the email I send to everyone to have both itineraries so you can just cross compare and see where some of that overlap is. Obviously, with a lot of that preparation going into the festival, there will be some other alternative activities that you'll be doing on our standard trip. I don't know if you want to add anything as well, Rodolfo, on just the comparison between the two, but I can also follow up
Right.
with.
Well, the Day of the Dead celebrations happen between like the 29th of October all the way to November the 3rd. So if people come after the 3rd of November, um, they will not get to see like the special events, the cemeteries, the markets, the parades, the decoration. I mean, everything that happens only around those dates.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, but I know we're at the top of the hour and I like to kind of wrap it up so that people can use this as a resource in the future. But really appreciate everyone's attentiveness and great to see you all on today's call. And we appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit more about Discover Core and our trips out in Oaxaca with Rodolfo and the wonderful team there. Thank you again, Rodolfo, for being here, and Jenny for also joining in and giving your direct insights, and having you have just been in Oaxaca as well is such a treat. So thank you both for sharing all your photos and stories. And hopefully, if anyone has any questions, know that we're here for you. So just reach out. You can schedule a time to talk with me, and we can go over any of your more intimate questions. All
Thank
right.
you.
Hope everyone has a great day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Rodolfo. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Come to Oaxaca.
Okay. Ciao. Hasta luego.
Bye. Hasta
Ciao.
luego.